Hi everyone, and welcome to NextGen Specs. We all know that one of the biggest factors determining how fast your computer or smartphone feels is its RAM. But what exactly is RAM? What does it do? And what do all those confusing terms like DDR4 and DR5 actually mean? If you've ever asked yourself these questions, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to dive deep into everything you need to know about RAM, from the absolute basics to the cutting-edge tech. So grab a seat and let's get started. First things first, what is RAM? RAM stands for Random Access Memory. The simplest way to think about it is as your computer's short-term memory. Imagine your hard drive or SSD is a massive library filled with all your programs, files, photos, and games. This library is great for long-term storage, but it's slow to access. Now, picture RAM as your personal work desk right in front of you. When you decide to open an application, say your web browser or a video game, your computer goes to the library, grabs that book, and places it on your desk. This desk is your RAM. The larger your desk, meaning the more RAM you have, the more books or programs you can have open and easily accessible at the same time without everything getting cluttered and slow. It's the active workspace where your computer does its thinking. This is why having enough RAM is so crucial for a smooth and responsive experience. It's the bridge between your long-term storage and your processor. So, how does this process actually work under the hood? When you double-click an icon to launch a program, that command tells your computer to fetch the necessary data from your storage drive, which could be a traditional hard drive or a much faster solid-state drive or SSD. This data is then loaded into your RAM. From there, your computer's brain, the CPU or central processing unit, can access it almost instantly. The speed difference is staggering. It's thousands of times faster for the CPU to pull information from RAM than it is to go all the way back to the storage drive every time it needs something. This high-speed access is what allows you to seamlessly switch between open tabs, run demanding games, and edit high-resolution videos without constant stuttering and lag. However, there's a key characteristic of RAM you must understand. It is volatile memory. Volatile simply means it needs constant power to hold onto its data. If you unplug your computer or the power goes out unexpectedly, everything currently stored in the RAM is instantly wiped clean. It's like your desk being cleared off the moment the lights go out. That's precisely why we have to save our work. When you save a document, you're telling the computer to take the information from your temporary desk, the RAM, and file it away permanently in the library, your hard drive or SS. Now, let's talk about a term you'll see plastered on every single stick of RAM. DDR. What does it stand for, and why is it so important? DDR stands for Double Data Rate. To understand what this means, we need to take a quick look back at older RAM technology, which was called SDR, or Single Data Rate. In the world of computers, everything operates on a clock cycle, which is like a steady beat or pulse. With old SDR RAM, data was transferred only once per clock cycle, specifically on the rising edge of the signal. Think of it like a person who can only take one step each time a metronome clicks. Then came DDR. This revolutionary technology figured out how to transfer data on both the rising and the falling edge of the clock signal. In our metronome analogy, this is like a person who can take a step when the arm goes up and another step when it comes down. This simple but brilliant innovation effectively doubles the amount of data that can be transferred in the same amount of time, without needing to increase the clock speed itself. It was a massive leap forward in performance and set the standard for all modern memory that we use today. This DDR technology didn't just stop there. It has evolved through several generations, each one bringing significant improvements in speed, efficiency, and capacity. Let's walk through the main generations you're likely to encounter. First up is DDR3, which was introduced way back in 2007. By today's standards, it's considered legacy technology. It runs at slower speeds, typically between 800 and 2133 MHz, and consumes more power because it requires a higher operating voltage. But while you might still find it in older, used systems, it's not something you'd want for a new build. Next, we have DDR4, launched in 2014. DDR4 quickly became, and still is, the most widely used type of RAM in the world. It offers a huge performance jump over DDR3, with speeds commonly ranging from 2133 MHz all the way up to and beyond 3600 MHz, all while being more powerful. For the last several years, DDR4 has been the go-to standard for everything from budget builds to high-end gaming rigs. And that brings us to the current champion, DDR5. Introduced in 2020, DDR5 is the latest and greatest. It represents another monumental leap in performance. With starting speeds that are often double that of typical DDR4, and it's even more powerful for anyone building a top-of-the-line PC today for 4K gaming, professional video editing, or complex scientific work. DDR5 is the new gold standard. One critically important thing to remember is that these generations are not cross-compatible. Each DDR generation has a different physical design, specifically a small cutout on the bottom connector called a notch. So, with all these options available, the big question is, how much RAM do you actually need? The answer really depends on what you use your computer for. Your workload dictates your needs. Let's break it down into a few common tiers. For basic everyday use, like browsing the web, checking emails, writing documents in Microsoft Office, and streaming videos on YouTube or Netflix, 8 GB of RAM is generally sufficient. It will get the job done without much fuss. However, if you're a gamer or you do some light creative work like photo or video editing, you'll want to step up. For this group, 16 GB is widely considered the sweet spot today. It provides enough headroom to run modern games smoothly without background applications causing slowdowns. And it makes for a much more pleasant video editing experience. Now, if you're a professional or a serious enthusiast, your needs are on another level. For tasks like editing 4K or even 8K video, complex 3D modeling and rendering, running virtual machines, or heavy multitasking with dozens of demanding applications open at once. 32 gigabytes is becoming the new baseline, and for the most extreme users, pushing into 64 gigabytes or even 128 gigabytes is essential to keep those workflows running without a hitch. The key is to match your RAM capacity to your tasks to avoid creating a bottleneck in your system. So there you have it, a complete guide to understanding RAM. We've covered what it is, how it functions as your computer's fast, temporary workspace, what DDR means, and how the technology has evolved from DDR3 to the super-fast DDR5 we have today. We also looked at how to choose the right amount of RAM for your specific needs, whether you're a casual user, a dedicated gamer, or a creative professional. I hope this video has demystified the world of computer memory for you and made you feel more confident about your next PC build or upgrade. I'm curious, what kind of RAM are you running in your PC right now? Is it DDR4 or have you made the jump to DDR5? Let me know down in the comments below. If you found this tech deep dive helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to NextGen Specs for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.